Guys, have I got news for you? Today I'm bringing you news on the new Switch stuff that's been happening while I've had my eyes shut. Now look, we've got Homebrew, we've got Homebrew Launcher, we've got some exploits on the new 4.1 jailbreak or 4.1 firmware. We've got the Reswitch team following in the fail overflow's footsteps with the cold boot launcher, which means that they must have some extra stuff that we don't know about yet, or that we will now, of course. And then, of course, you've got fail overflow just doing their thing. So they're just showing off the 3D drivers on the Linux that they've installed. We'll go more into all this later, but first I want to start off with showing you guys the actual news for the actual Homebrew launcher, which seems to be one of the main things that have come out recently. And then we'll go on about talking about the later jailbreaks that are going to come out for the latest firmware. So let's take a look at what we got here. And of course I'll make a video specifically about this because well, your guy over here, he's got a Switch on 3.0 firmware, so I'll be able to install this. And it seems pretty easy to do it, to be honest with you. You can see here there's a little bit of instructions. They just talk about the firmwares. Now essentially this is what it's going to look like once you've got your Homebrew on it. And what you can do with the launcher as of today, as they're saying here, there's not much because there's not too much Homebrew on the Switch wiki, or Switchbrew wiki I should say. Let's take a look at what we've got here at the moment. Yeah, it's a bit empty, but still there is some Homebrew. The Doom port will be very nice once they do fully port it and release it for everyone. And yeah, this is a big thank you to all the guys like Yellows8, Pluto, Reswitch Team, DevKit Pro, and it also goes on to thank the little guys down here, which is quite nice. So without all of these people, we wouldn't be able to do this today. You can download the Homebrew launcher from this link here. I will also post a link to this article in the description, and I will post a link to, well, actually you can find the link here. I've showed you where to get it. You can get it here. It's not too hard. Not in this video. I won't be showing you how to install this in this video, but it will be in another video. That's just showing you guys that now we have a Homebrew launcher. This will work with the Reswitched exploit, but you don't need to host it yourself. They have already hosted it for you and all the files. You just need to go to the site and exploit it. Now, I believe that this will delete your me data from what I've heard, but if you don't care about it, then there's no problem. And to launch the Homebrew launcher after it's been exploited, all you need to do is open the photos section of your of your Switch. I'm pretty sure that's it. I will obviously get more in depth with you once I try it myself, and we can go from there. But for the meantime, this is it. This is what we've got. They're recommending using Pokken Tournament if you want to update to 3.0, but just be careful because later copies are updating you to 3.01. So yeah, do keep that in mind. There's some helpful information here if you guys want to read through it. And yep, you can download it from there. Now over to the news about the new exploit for 4.01. Now the Nintendo Switch has had a lot of action going on recently, to be honest with you. Now there's a Trust Zone exploit for 1.0, which they mentioned down here. The Trust Zone exploit on firmwares 3.0 as well, or 3.x, which means like all of the free firmwares, whatever it falls under, what category. And the hackers named the new exploit Deja Vu because it's like happening again, or I don't know. Anyways, firmware 4.10, technically a version of 3.0 exploit that doesn't rely on the same kernel exploits. So it's the same sort of Trust Zone exploit, but it's using a different kernel exploit to get to it. So he's saying don't update past 4.1 because they've got something working, and they do plan to release it eventually. So as you can see here, arbitrary Trust Zone code execution on 4.x. So Deja Vu successfully implemented courtesy of Morteza. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, man. Kerimkin and whoever himself. So of course, thank you to these guys for releasing this. And yeah, in practice, this could mean significant control over consoles for users firmware up to 4.1, as TrustZone is responsible for cryptography. So that means you can pretty much do anything, especially run Homebrew. And for you other people who want to do other things, yeah, you can probably do that too. Um, the person who's written this article has gone on to ask a couple questions to the developer. Essentially, he's asked what firmware you should be on, and he said his answer was unambiguous. So if you're on 1.0, they reckon you should stay on 1.0. Well, I've gone past that because I thought 3.0 was the golden firmware. If you're on 2.0 to 3.0, stay where you are or get 3.0 for Homebrew launcher stuff, which is where I am sitting currently. And they say if you're past 3.01 to 4.1, you can feel free to update to 4.1.0. Well, what this looks like to me means that they've got something for this firmware, they've got something for this firmware, and they've also got something for this firmware. So you take it as you want it. That's how I'm assuming that they're going on about this. From what I can see here, 3.0 seems to be like it might be the golden one, but for some reason they wouldn't be advertising this unless they had something really good for 1.0, because you can't play 3.0 games on 1.0, and vice versa, you won't be able to play the 4.1 games on 3.0. So don't obviously go and update your systems now. I would highly recommend you just stay on whatever firmware you're on, and then once some solid stuff comes out that you would actually like to use, for example the Homebrew launcher, well, I'm on the firmware for the Homebrew launcher anyways, so I'm on 3.0. I'll be using that and making videos for you guys showing you how it works. But if you guys are on a previous firmware, stay where you are. See what the devs release. If someone releases something on a later firmware that you like more, well, that's your decision if you want to update. I didn't tell you to do anything. It's all up to you, okay, guys? Now, that's pretty much it. This video, I've watched it. It's just this, pretty much the whole video. And anyways, that's it for that. If we go over here, you can see the Reswitch team has announced Tegra Brute ROM exploit, giving developers full access to the Nintendo Switch. The hacks have been nicknamed Fuse Jelly, literally frozen rocket apparently, which I assume could be interpreted as cold boot launcher. So they've got cold boot. If they can access the cold boot, they obviously have some pretty deep access to the system. I remember them reading somewhere here where they said that they won't be releasing this straight away because this is a part of Reswitch team, so the person who's actually shown this off is a part of their team, and they need to obviously discuss and how they're going to release it officially. That will be probably coming out within the next few days, maybe a week, maybe a month maximum. But yeah, let's see. Although there is no word on release since they associate themselves with Reswitched, hoping for a release is not far-fetched. The README from wherever they got this README file mentions that unsigned images can be loaded on the device. Think custom firmware, Linux, and more. So yeah, if they have cold boot access, that's a sure way to get into CFW. But that is all the information I have for this at the moment. Once there's new information available, I will be getting straight to you guys. And that's that. And finally, we'll finish it off with Fail Overflow. So you guys should all know who Fail Overflow are. They've been showing off that they've got Linux running on the Switch, and they've now got 3D drivers working. There's not too much to it. I did only skim over this. There's video pretty much showing what they've got. I don't think they've released anything specific yet, but just reading here. Also in the taunt, that reminds me of the good old days of the hacking scene. Fail Overflow used their demo video to tweet some congratulations to KTM Kin and Team Reswitch for their cold boot exploit. Definitely true recognition of the work of other hackers, but also a pretty direct way to say we're ahead of you. Well, yeah, so Fail Overflow likes to play with people. They don't really release everything straight away, especially if it can enable piracy, because they're not down for that. But there's, yeah, you can see what they've achieved there. They're pretty good with this sort of stuff. They're always ahead. They just work undercover. They just don't show anyone until it's perfected as well. So you don't really expect that it just comes out of nowhere. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video for today. It was a short video just showing you guys what's happened on the on the Switch scene, and keeping you all updated. I will have a video coming out soon on how to install the Homebrew launcher, and hopefully I'll find some Homebrew that I can show you guys how to run. If you guys have any questions, please don't forget to leave a comment down below. Make sure you rate and make sure you subscribe for more videos. I'll be making videos all the time. As soon as I get a moment and as soon as there's information that comes out, I will have that information directly to you. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, peace out, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.